Fargo's chief, John Stump, is going to testify on Capitol Hill regarding the claims that the company illegally created literally 2 million unauthorized accounts. Louisiana Senator David Vitter is going to be on the committee that asked the questions. Senator, I want to ask this question of you. Would you want a rule that says if a bank executive is in any way connected with unethical behavior, they should have their pay and bonuses taken off them? Would you have that rule?
Absolutely, and depending on the behavior, it could be more appropriate to go much further than that. One of the key questions, Stuart, at this hearing is going to be who knew about this within the bank? How high did that go up? 5,300 employees were fired. We don't know the highest level of employee that was fired. Certainly that question is going to be asked.
Are you, forgive me for being pejorative to some degree here, but are you jumping on a political bandwagon? Wall Street is not popular, banks are not popular, and here's your chance to have a go at them.
Well, look, this is a very serious case of fraud, and it's massive fraud. So if you look at the substance, the pure substance, there's a lot there to be concerned about that we need to learn from. I'm also concerned that these mega institutions, so-called too big to fail, are too big to regulate, either by the regulators or internally by their own leadership. Because if the top leadership of this bank knew nothing of this widespread fraud, what does that say?
Okay. Now, yesterday on this program, we had a market watcher, a bank analyst on the show, Dick Beauvais, and he said that the Wells Fargo fiasco was not that big a deal. Just listen to him on tape for a second, Senator. Roll tape.
It is, at this point, still a victimless crime. I mean, nobody was hurt by it. Some people paid $25, that they shouldn't have paid, but they'll get that money back. To take this thing all the way up to the Senate and the House seems to me to be an extreme reaction to what was actually occurring here.
Senator, I think you heard what he had to say there.
Yes, sir, I couldn't disagree more strongly. 2 million fake accounts, massive fraud, 5,300 employees fired. That is widespread abuse. And the fact that relatively small dollar amounts were involved doesn't mitigate that in my mind.
Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, I think wants to break up these big banks. Are you in favor of that too?
No, I don't think the government should decide bank size. I do think we need more protection against too big to fail. That's why I've teamed up, for instance, with Sherrod Brown to require higher capital requirements for mega banks. But that's not the government saying there can only be this maximum size.
When you get on the when you get inside the chamber there, are you going to take an aggressive tone against the CEO of Wells Fargo?
Well, look, this institution committed massive fraud, so I'm going to take the appropriate tone, and I think a lot of folks are going to be asking some very specific questions which have not been answered yet.
Senator, we appreciate you being with us this morning. I know you've got a busy day in front of you, but we'll be watching you shortly.